No, thank you, Sheriff Mack. Thank you for everybody that came out today. My name's Catherine Engelbrecht. I'm the founder of True the Vote. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to split up our time. Greg and I were sitting there talking about how to kind of break this up, make it make sense. I'm going to share with you, I think, what brought us to this point and to the company of Sheriff Mack and others. Once we sort of had our own wake-up call about the only way that investigations are really going to go forward. So I'll give you... We believed as we... And by the way, the movie was not even... We had no intention of doing a movie. We really believed we were finding all of this information and we're turning it over to law enforcement and they're going to start investigations. And that's what's going to happen. And we're going to get to the bottom of this. And so it was in the beginning part, or the early part of 2021 when we first presented early data in the state of Georgia. And we learned very quickly how political things get. Prior to turning over that data in Georgia, we first went to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But our thought at the time, it was very sincere. We wanted to make sure we checked every box and provenance of data and chain of custody. We wanted to make sure everything was transparent, and we can always say, first we went to the FBI, and then we went to the state. And that's what we did. In the case of the FBI, they said, well, look, this is a state-level thing, which, by the way, I agree with. Now, when you look at what we found in the jurisdictions that we studied, I think you have the basis for what could be a RICO argument. But we established it there at the FBI, and then we went to Georgia. And things got very political very quickly. Once we had been burned by both the Federal Bureau of Investigations and state-level law enforcement, we realized we've got to take this more local. And as God would have it, at about the same time, both Sheriff Mark Lamb from Pinal County, Arizona, and Sheriff Mack reached out. And all of a sudden, it's like the lights went on. It's the sheriffs. That's who can do these investigations. That's who we can trust. That's who we can turn over information to. And so we began thinking about what are the possibilities. And I ended up having a conversation with Sheriff Leaf. And man, I learned about ledger laws in Michigan. It was amazing the way that these gentlemen and ladies are standing up and defending our rights and the sanctity of our vote. And that is a group that we will work with and give everything to because they have your backs. They are on the front line for you. And I feel so optimistic about the hope that not only are we going to continue to unravel what happened in 2020, and while that is incredibly important, 2022 is upon us. 2024 is around the corner. And we're still dealing with states that most states have not changed the laws that got us to the place that we found ourselves in 2020. So we better doggone understand what's going on in our counties and who is the defender of our counties, who our constitutional sheriffs are. And so about a month ago, we launched an effort called protectamerica.vote. protectamerica.vote. And that effort is a partnership between True the Vote and law enforcement organizations like CSPOA to make sure that we are providing information, relevant information, not just window dressing information like, oh, we're all working together, but actual talking it through. How can we, with this election integrity hotline, hand off data that's relevant and do it in real time or near real time? How can we do better to get eyes on those drop boxes in states where they still exist and take action? Because we now know that video was never looked at. So why even have surveillance video if you're not going to watch it?
The import of what's about to happen cannot be overstated. In spite of what the New York Times wrote, in spite of what NPR says and WAPO and all the rest, the data is immutable. We can get these signals down to a few centimeters, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is the truth is the truth. The data is immutable. Our hypotheses are not only proven, but they're measured and regulated and changed every single day by the United States military, the intelligence community, law enforcement all over the country. You just heard one of the sheriffs here say they just bought a bunch of data. This is what it's all about. So here's what we're going to do. Another genius of Catherine. Everybody's familiar with all the CTCL stuff, right? How Mark Zuckerberg came in and gave a bunch of money to buy these drop boxes so that they could steal it from us. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to raise the money. We're going to bundle it into grants to give to sheriffs to put surveillance on all these drop boxes that they refuse to ban. We're going to put high-end equipment. We're going to put artificial intelligence. And most importantly, we're going to create a fusion center. And that fusion center is going to allow us to bring in open source intelligence from the field. It's going to allow us to bring in signal intelligence, geointelligence. We'll be able to bundle it. We'll be able to analyze it. And then we'll be able to bundle it up into a package and hand it to one of these great men to go after them. And we're going to do it in real time.
And we are getting many, many individual sheriffs. I have no idea if they're affiliated or not. We're also on our website, protectamerica.vote, encouraging people to nominate their sheriffs. And so what's happening behind the scenes there is when constituents come and nominate their sheriffs, those sheriffs are being contacted and told about the hope that we could all work together and provide good information. And we're just very optimistic about it. It feels it's organic, it's real, it's inspiring, and you know, if we would have known about you guys back in 2020, things have been a little bit different.
And it's easy.
And it's easy.